stuff here. Um,
Yeah. No, dude,
yeah.
I want to get back into that because I haven't played in a while.
I gotta finish it. I wanted to try to finish it today, but I just forgot.
Yeah.
How far did you get, Thor?
See, I haven't finished
I
it yet
guess
either.
I'm halfway through. I mean, they just. I mean, I don't want to give it away or nothing, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta do
but
that.
Shit, they talking about doing the Force Unleashed 3.
I
oh
heard
yeah,
about
we're gonna talk about that in just
Yeah.
a second. I'm just kind of like sending out the invites to for the live stream here.
Thor, you think you can get? Are we live or?
Yeah, we're live, but you could talk like whatever. I'm gonna cut like for the podcast. I'm gonna cut out this extra stuff.
I just don't want to say something I shouldn't say.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, Thor, do you think there's gonna be any customs of Gideon done at all, or?
We were sticking our toe in the water in the NYC group. I immediately put a group of picture up. I was like, dude, y'all can do better than this. Yeah. And then people were like, yeah, they could, man. But then I thought back after I posted when Michael said it's hard to do like black skin.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
And he never commented, but people were like, yeah, the NYC could do way better than this shit, so
he's always good at poses and like bases and all. This base is fantastic. I think that the idea.
If I could Frankenstein shit from Dan, Zionart, and NYC, we could make the perfect shit.
Sure.
Dan does perfect likenesses in the faces. Zionart with the capes and everything,
right?
Outstanding. And then this guy with the body and the bases,
yeah.
If we could combine all that shit, dude, we would have some killer shit. You know what I mean? But that shit ain't never gonna happen, so I'm just giving that shit up.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping.
Yeah,
if not, we're already making plans. See, so here's what's gonna happen. If there are no customs, we get this sideshow piece.
Yeah.
Then we get Dan to make a head for it.
Okay.
So that's the plan right now.
It's not bad. That's not a bad plan.
Yeah, we getting ready, but that shit ain't gonna come out till like next December or something. So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Damn. Today is like seriously. I was like seriously overwhelmed when I was at work. Like because in the morning there wasn't really a lot of things like happening, like in terms of I mean, we had the Gideon, which we'll talk about in just a second. But then, man, at some point it was just like full steam ahead, man. Like, I was like, what the hell's going on? I want all these things and I can't afford them. But, all right, so let's, man, we got so much things to talk about, guys. Seriously, like, what a good time to be a Star Wars fan. But we'll start off with Thor, man. Have you, like, with all these Mando Mondays happening, have you picked up anything for Mando Mondays? I know you.
No.
Are you excited though? Like, I mean, I know, we haven't received this many Star Wars products ever, and I just want to know, like, from obviously you're a Star Wars fan, but like, what your thoughts are? Are you basking with all these things that's happening, not with just like the fandom, with the show, with the collectibles, with the t-shirts? Like, what's your thoughts, man?
I think it's cool, but my fear is I hope they don't run it into the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just hope that shit doesn't happen, and then this baby Yoda, on the street somewhere, signs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's cool, but it's just, I just hope that it doesn't get to the point where people start getting tired of it. You know what I mean? And so it's cool, but that's just my fear about it.
Yeah, I mean, so you didn't pick up anything or did anything like pique your interest for Mando Mondays? I mean, nothing.
You know what? And here's the funny part, because we were just talking about what do you call it? Squadrons. Mm-hmm. And they got on there, they did an update, and you go on there and they got Mando shit you can put in your ships now.
Yeah, I saw that.
They got like Baby Yoda and
Mhm.
Razor Crest you can hang from the mirror and all kinds of stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so but no, I don't need none of that stuff, man.
Well, there is nothing that you predicted.
I mean,
Vader ramen.
we get to that later on, it's just I might have on open mic on Friday at I don't know what the timestamp is, but ATV Racer asked me, he said, what do you think the next Star Wars statue is gonna be? And I said, I think it's gonna be Gideon. And 3 days later, Gideon came out. I didn't think it was gonna happen that fast. But he kept saying IG-11. I said, nah, because I think they want people that's still around, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
And they did it based off of last season, the statue. But so I guess they're not really giving up nothing that's gonna happen this season. But
we'll talk about it. I mean, a little bit later. So Matt, what's going on, man? Like, how's your Mando Monday, by the way? Like, how you feeling?
Yeah, it's good. I it's fun, right? I'm not gonna buy a lot of stuff that has come out, but at the same time, it's fun to see it all come out. It's fun to see everyone's excitement, and it just adds to the Star Wars excitement. It's cool. I love it. So,
is there anything that has piqued your interest for with all these product releases or announcements where you're like, I'm going to get that? Or
in the last one, obviously, Real Robot came out with their Gamorrean fighter. That one I was down for. That's kind of the stuff I'm kind of leaning more towards, that kind of thing. But at the same time, it's of course, Hot Toys doesn't actually come out with something on Mando Mondays. They just let it kind of peter out afterwards. Like, they're just the worst with marketing. They're like literally the worst company with marketing. And so, it would have been cool if they had come out with that as like a big Mando Monday thing, right? But of course they didn't. And but we still got it, and that's cool. I'm not going to get that, but at the same time, it's cool for people that we're looking for something like that. That's awesome. So otherwise, I haven't seen any posters I want to pick up or anything yet. How
about the bottleneck one, the lenticular?
I don't like lenticular posters.
Okay,
they kind of weird me out, and it's just I just want a nice piece of artwork. I don't want something that changes every time I walk past it. So what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird.
Like, what the heck is going on? Speaking of posters, cool, just wanted to share this real quick. So Dark Ink Art came out with some posters here. But what
style?
It looks very, very Flash Gordon.
Yeah, which is cool, but at the same time, it's like, man, it's getting to the point where there is just too much Mando stuff. Like, I cannot pick up all these posters. Well, I'm definitely not picking up this poster, but it's crazy. Like, it's like,
it's a cool style, though. I mean, that's a cool, like, if you got all of those together, it could be pretty cool.
It's a cool
I
style.
like that one for some reason.
Yeah,
you like this one?
Yeah, that was cool.
I think the only thing I don't like about Dark Ink kind of doesn't have the best quality. Compared to like Bottleneck and Mondo are like fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like, it's huge. They're thick.
I'm talking
about the poster.
I have gotten some from Dark Ink and I really like them, but I just not everything is a home run for me. So from them,
So
I did get this. I got this.
Oh, nice, from Heroes
and Villains. I got this, which I really like. So I've gotten a couple things here and there, but nothing crazy. I was the past weekend I was working on getting lights up for this area here. So I got lights for the bottom and the top.
Let's see.
Yeah, so at least it's a little better. It was like a black hole before, so at least it's something better. But
it looks great, man. Speaking of Heroes and Villains, did you guys see some of this stuff that they're coming out with? So they're coming out with like some like dress down shirts.
Yeah.
So
PJ,
now,
have you seen Roosevelt's stuff?
yeah, I think so. I'll pull it up
Really cool.
in just a second, but I just wanted to just show you guys this because now my wife is definitely going to kill me because she always complains that that's all I wear is Star Wars stuff. Like the only thing that's not Star Wars is like my jeans, and my pants. But everything else, like when I leave the house, I have like a Star Wars hat on, a Star Wars shirt or a sweatshirt, Star Wars shoes because I'm wearing Adidas shoes, Star Wars socks because I got the freaking Stan socks. And then my wife's like, they know that you're a Star Wars fan now at this point, right? Like,
I wear a lot of Star Wars stuff too.
So now, like, if I were going to like someone's communion or I don't know, like some
communion
anniversary or barbecue, now I got some dress shirts to be like wearing now when I go out. I mean, this is cool, by the way. Which
it is.
Matt or Thor, would you guys wear something like this to like, like someone's communion? Thor, I see Thor wearing this one. This looks nice.
Look at that.
As I said on Friday, they may be glad I can't fit in no Darth Vader suit because I'd be showing up in places. Just
that's fantastic. I would 1000% wear something like this.
Matt, I see you wearing this, but
I don't wear collared shirts if I can help it. I just think it's stupid, and if I don't have to wear a collared shirt, I don't wear it. But if I need to somewhere, this would be fantastic. Something like this would be great.
Yeah, just think about it, like this shirt right here. Like, you're wearing it with some khakis, you're in a vacation somewhere, you're vacationing somewhere.
Sure.
I don't know, the Caribbeans or Hawaii.
You got an ascot. You have an ascot on.
Around your neck.
I'm sure they got Star Wars ascot too.
If they do have it,
they probably
do.
Yeah, but I'm definitely getting this Vader one. I think this Vader one looks super sick. Man, I just can't stop wearing and buying Star Wars stuff, man. But yeah, Matt, is there anything else that you picked up in the past week or two?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think right now I've got a decent amount of stuff coming in, so I'll be doing some unboxings. I know some of the other guys do too. So it's kind of which is good. It's kind of settled down a little bit. Because it was getting ridiculous there for a minute. Where,
Well, what's getting ridiculous is that like the payment plan I'm on for it. Dude. I'm like, I got charged the other day or like last week. I'm
for the Rancor.
Oh yeah, I'm like,
well, dude,
that's a premium format.
Yeah, the Rancor, like RS Boba, like some of that kind of stuff. It's just expensive, dude. It's expensive. So
yeah,
I get it.
That thing is like those things are holding you back. It's almost like a car note, and like I just can't wait to pay it off.
I know.
Once I pay it off, I'm gonna be like so relieved, and I'll be like, oh, thank goodness. Now I could like go back to buying some more stuff.
I just paid those things off because I think I sold some things. I had some things that I got refunds for and things, and I just paid it off. I couldn't things like that being over my head. It's just so stressful.
I know.
Like when I got the Chewbacca, I loved this thing to death, but it was stressful. It was very stressful, and I don't like collecting and being stressed out. So,
of course.
But
so that's it. No other pickups, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Just again, like I said, a lot coming in. So
okay. All right. So for me, quite a few things that I'm eyeing and ready to pick up. And so first, I wanted to share this one right here. This is dropping tonight at cool. I believe at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, which is 12 p.m. your time, Matt. These Mando NMD R1 shoes.
Damn.
They look pretty sick. I know there's a way where you could actually get 30% coupon if you sign up, or some sort of coupon if you sign up for their creators club. So sign up for their creators club and use that coupon to check out and then I think you get like 15 to 20% off this thing.
Go back
15.
Go back
What's up?
to the other shoes. Go back to the other shoes.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Let
I
me
want
go
to
back
see
here.
what are the ones all the way on the right there.
This one is dude, these are the
The child shoes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at the bottom of these things. Oh, first of all, they're high tops, which looks really cool. They look like Jordans from.
Why are these $90 and the other ones are $140? This is so much more shoe. What's going on? Is it just the technology that's in the shoe?
Yeah, maybe because they're not going to be comfortable. Like the NMDs are comfortable.
Yeah, I got you.
So these are just like, okay, I'm gonna rock these out because these look super cool. Yeah. But look at the bottom. Like I just seriously don't want to wear them just because I don't want to scuff up the bottom.
Bottom or is it the insole? It has to be the insole, isn't it?
Actually, no, you're right. That is the insole.
Yeah, that's the insole.
I thought that was I'm sorry. Well, then never mind. You can wear these around.
Yeah, your dirty ass feet will just wear those down all day.
Yeah, exactly. But I think
cool, man. Those are really cool.
Yeah, these are really cool. I think they have like a cool,
Oh,
color.
where's the tongue? Show the tongue of the because the tongue has a design on it.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Oh, here you go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's the child.
The child on there. That's so
freaking child's everywhere. Matt, will you buy this?
I don't know. Go back. I would probably look at the ones you were looking at before, but all these are pretty cool. Is it further down? Are those ones as well, or
yeah? So these are youth though.
Those are pretty sick though, dude.
They're youth, but they're freaking man.
Yeah, I could fit in a youth size.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, I'd rock a youth. I'd rock a pair of youth.
Oh yeah, dude. If you can, man.
Do they got turtle shells up there, or is my mind playing tricks on me?
What turtle shells?
Like go back to the menu, like the main menu, and go up to the top row, the ones right next to the high tops. Yeah, the turtle, like on the front right there,
yeah,
like the Run DMC style shit.
Yeah, these are they're just the same color as the child.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks cool, but I wouldn't rock it.
No, I wouldn't either. I would just try like.
Oh, look at that! Look, it's got the Lothal cat.
Oh yeah,
pretty cool. But the one thing I'm eyeing for is these right here. These, and man, I want these too. Man, those look cool. Oh, I hate you, Disney. You freaking.
Yeah, the NMDs are pretty sick. I'm sure they would be very comfortable.
Which one would you get? So, would you get this one
Yeah, I'd be tempted for the Mandalorian one. I mean, the youth ones are cheaper, but
so yeah, definitely do that thing. Join the Creators Club if you haven't done so, and if you did, use another email account, and you can still get the 15% off. So, and then, man, I think there'll be like $100.
By the time people listen to this, it's going to be too late. So.
Yeah,
there's no way those are going to be still in stock.
That's why, dude, 12 p.m. tonight, like,
yeah.
But oh man, these are cool. Oh, I'm so tempted for these, but I hate you, Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a lot coming out, man. A lot of cool things coming out these days. So
yeah. And what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, of course. So of course, Mando Mondays wouldn't be Mando Mondays without the Mandalorian, which we talked about, Matt. And this is Thor, I want to get your thoughts on this, man. Like, what's your thoughts on this quarter scale figure? I know you don't collect Hot Toys, but
no, that's cool. Something just occurred to me. Do they really have enough product? How many episodes is it? 8?
Well, we just went through the 9th one, so yeah.
Well, I mean, this season is 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Do they really have enough product to show new shit every Monday for 8 weeks?
Yeah.
Think about that shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, the
holy shit, man.
Because you got to think that, like, look at Regal Robot, right? Regal Robot's coming out with. They came out the what's it called? The fighter, right? The Marine Fighter. Yeah. They have. I know they have one other thing.
Well, they
have one other maquette. I think a smaller maquette that they might be coming out with for Mandalorian Mondays. I'm not positive though.
And looking at this, something else I just thought about. So that figure you just showed, that was from this week's episode.
Well, yeah,
baby in the bag.
yeah.
He's literally gonna be releasing stuff from every episode. No, I mean serious. Think about that shit.
You know what? If that's the case,
I don't want to think about it, man.
If that's the case, they should have released a Tusken Raider today. Yeah. Like someone should have released something Tusken Raider. That would have been smart.
Yeah,
the world is going crazy.
Well, I don't seriously. I don't think they seriously. I don't think they would expect. I didn't expect Tusken Raiders to go, like up like that. For me, Tusken Raiders has always been around. Like, come on. Like in the prequels, like freaking Anakin slaughtered them, but then for the Mandalorian, like, is it like the hardcore collectors or the casual collectors or the newbie collectors that are like going crazy trying to pick up these Tusken Raiders? I don't know.
The hard part is anytime anything shows up in freaking an episode or whatever, it's just like, look, Boba. Wait, I mean, okay,
we're talking about spoilers. By the way,
yeah, spoilers. If you haven't seen it, you're not a Star Wars fan. But like if you, if Boba Fett puts on that armor, that freaking mythos piece is going to go through the freaking roof, right? There's other Boba pieces that'll probably go up just because it's Boba Fett, and people are like, I want to get Boba Fett stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, of course, but that's why, like, Thor. The only thing I would say about like them coming out with something every episode or every whatever. The only thing I would say about that is they probably aren't all privy to like what's actually happening in those episodes. Right. They probably just have seen like some like artwork and pictures and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but because otherwise you'd think they would have some very specific stuff. I mean, the weird part about this Hot Toys quarter scale thing is that like we said, PJ, it's season 2 Mandalorian with the eWeb canon from season 1.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, really.
Yeah, I'll pull up those pictures. And by the way, guys, Matt and I did a Hot Toys preview video, which I'll drop tomorrow. Yeah. So definitely look out for that. For the people on the podcast, it should be up already.
unless he uses it, right? Like you said, PJ, maybe he does use it in the season.
It just becomes kind of corny. It's like, how do I beat like 20 death troopers and like, eWeb cannon? Let me grab that off the thing.
It's like a video game where there's an eWeb cannon in every like boss, or something.
Every boss fight. But again, like this whole thing just doesn't make any sense because IG-11 is like dying on the bottom of the base. There's this Mandalorian like helmet, which I just don't know what it is. Like Thor, like what do you think that helmet is? Oh, by the way, we'll talk about that.
It looks like. Doesn't it look like the armor, but it doesn't have the it doesn't have
the armor is way different than that.
Yeah, the armor
is like the color is
well, sort of. But actually it kind of looks like his just in bronze.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why?
I mean, I guess they needed some shit to decorate the base. I don't know.
You know what, Thor? Doesn't this? I said this to PJ. Like, I feel like at this point, Hot Toys should just make statues because they're essentially that's what this is, right? They got a kind of a statue base with this big ass Mandalorian on it. It's like, I mean, come on, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either, but seriously, I want this. Man, it's just it's like you guys said, it's getting crazy out there. Like, but, I've never been so bombarded before.
I know.
Because like I think we've been used to. Yeah, seriously. I think we've been. Yeah, go ahead. It's just one of those things that Matt, we've been used to is where we get maybe a Star Wars product here and there, and it's not like nothing so great.
Yeah.
But this is like, oh my gosh, like this is like overload.
Well, and yeah, it is. And the good thing is you have some options out there, right? There's so many, they're coming out with so much cool shit that like you do have a lot of cool stuff to check out. I mean, even look at the Hot Toys quarter scale figure. You have the deluxe and the non-deluxe that you can. Yeah, if you don't want to pay that much money, you don't want all the stuff that comes with it. You have the non-deluxe. If at the end of the day, if you don't want Mandalorian, you can just get the child, right? They're just selling the child as well, quarter scale. There's a lot. There's a lot to. Yeah, I'm just happy that like we sometimes people make fun of the sequels, and all the peg warmers and all the stuff was sitting around, right? All the stuff. Like, I'm just happy that there's a lot of fans of The Mandalorian and that they're going to put stuff out that people really are excited about. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of stuff just warming the shelves necessarily for The Mandalorian.
Oh, no, I think this is slowly beating out, like, I hate to say it, but I think they're slowly beating out like Avengers, like,
which is
like,
great. I mean,
like, have you heard of like Avengers Saturdays or Fridays? Like, right. Marvel Mondays, like, you never heard of that. This is like insane.
Right. Which is great. And I love that for our franchise, right? For Star Wars. Yeah, I love that. And I hope long may it continue that people are really excited about Star Wars and really wanting to see new stuff, because for a long time, you're right. There was not much, right?
Yeah. And speaking of not much, like, and Mandalorian stuff, like, this is like a preview that we got from Iron Studios, or should I say a teaser from Iron Studios, where, dude, I really hope that's a quarter scale. I mean, 10 scale is cool.
Do they even make quarter scales though? I mean,
they do. Yeah.
Do they still?
Do anymore? Yeah. That's what I was saying to PJ. I was like, they ain't made no quarter scale since Yoda.
Yeah.
So I just want to know if, like, it was one of those things where it could be a shared license. But again, looking at this video, it does look like a 1/10 scale. Like, what I'm saying?
Can you guys imagine a legendary scale figure from Sideshow? That'd be crazy, dude. Well,
can you imagine a bust, like a life-size bust from Sideshow?
I mean, yes, right? Because Gentle Giant's done a half scale? Is that half scale?
Yeah, half scale. Yeah, half scale bust. Yeah, the one right over here.
Yeah. So I could definitely see Sideshow doing that. We'll see what the quality is, right? I feel like their busts are kind of hit or miss a little bit.
Yeah.
But
some of them, like, again, like the Boba Fett wasn't well received just because it was kind of inaccurate. And like, one of those things especially with the Boba Fett helmets, like, if you're gonna make a life-size bust of Boba, like, you gotta make sure you're
of course
super accurate with that helmet as the best you can, because there is gonna be a lot of, like, Boba Fett fans that kind of will dissect that paint, paintwork, and make sure, like, they'll point out the imperfections in it. So we'll see. I mean, I feel like if they were to do like a bust of the Mandalorian, it shouldn't be too hard, because it's just like Alu Master. I forgot the name of that paint.
Alumiluster.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And like some like little plus, like maybe like I don't know, like a cape, part of a cape or something like that. It shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
But again, we shall see. Maybe they'll tease that, and it'll go along well with the child.
Sure.
But yeah, so, man, again, for me, I also picked this up. I want to display this with some of my statues here. So this is the Regal Robot, like, I guess the Mudhorn mini skull, which I thought was really cool. It's $40, and I think it look really cool on display next to my Mandalorian stuff.
Yeah. Like Regal Robot's got it's cool. They've got of course they have a lot of expensive stuff that's incredible, but they also have these smaller pieces that are still really cool and fairly inexpensive. I mean, this is what, $30, I think.
Yeah.
So they've got a range of different products that you can buy from them, like magnets and stuff like that. So there's a lot to be excited for. I think there can be even more cool stuff like this.
I love this picture right here.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
cool.
It just looks like pretty thick. So what else did I get in? I'm waiting for my Emperor Palpatine lightsaber Force Effects blade from Hasbro. I think that should be coming in tomorrow. And what else? I got this book, which I did a review on I just have to post it. It's collection
sure.
book. Highly recommend this book. It's $25 on Amazon. And if you're still on the fence, just look out for my review on it. I'll drop it in like a day or two.
You know what I did get, PJ?
I see some comic books.
I got these. Which is cool. So this one's
that Vader? Oh my gosh,
this one's the normal one. This one's the foil.
Oh my gosh, which
variant.
one is that?
I'm trying to get it right. There we go.
Is it? Oh my goodness!
It's a Virgin cover, right?
Oh, is it Vader?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was one of the more recent, like, gosh, I can't remember which one it was. I'll have to look it up. But I just saw the cover and I was like, I gotta get that. It's freaking cool.
Yeah, that is
foil variant too.
Yeah, dude, like you should really like CGC that. That would be really cool.
I've got like a bunch that I'm trying to save to get, and then eventually I'm gonna do that thing where you can send them in, and you send like 15 in or something, and you can actually say if it doesn't come back a 9.4 or better, then just don't do it. You know what I mean? Like you can like actually like tell them to. So I think I'm gonna do that eventually. So,
and you know we were talking about Tusken Raiders earlier, so I pulled the trigger on this guy. I mean, I was going to before. I was just waiting for them to release it, and I wanted to see how it looks. But this is a must-have for me, guys. Like,
I think now seeing all those really cool, all that episode, and everything. It's I wish so I've never gotten a Kotobukiya like this. So I don't know how much is PVC, how much is like whatever, right?
I think probably the whole thing is PVC.
Yeah. So I mean, whatever. So I think you just have to adjust your like just how you think about this thing before you get it. But it does look crazy cool.
It does.
It really does look neat.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things, Matt. Like, it's PVC, and you hold it. It might be a little bit lighter than your usual statue, but seriously, once you have it displayed, like you're gonna forget everything.
It's sick. It's really cool,
and it does come with an art print of the guy that did this. But yeah, after watching that and knowing the fact that I'm probably never gonna get a Tusken Raider at this point because they just went from what $500, $600 to like 2,000. Like what the hell?
Really?
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I've been.
You got one, Thor?
No. But we got something else.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things, guys. Like I think I've been kind of like trying to tell you guys from like the very beginning. That I even told you, Matt. Like when you bought your Mythos Boba, I was like, dude, that is such a great buy. You bought it. A, you bought it new, right? And B, you bought it for a pretty decent price. But now that thing is going to go for $3,000. That's just my prediction. Once everything comes together, Thor's ready. Like once, I guess.
I mean, I don't know, man. $3,000.
I hear you, man.
Dude, look at the Tusken Raider. Look at the Tusken Raider. That thing, like seriously, you could buy that thing for $600. Seriously, like you go on eBay, you can get a Tusken Raider because no one really cared for the Tusken Raiders before this episode.
Right
now, $2,000? Like you're kidding me, right? Like what's going on here? I mean, that's for a new one, but still, used 1,000. I don't know. It's crazy.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
So I kissed the Tusken Raider premium format goodbye. Hello, Kotobukiya.
Yeah. Kiss goodbye. After the season's over, that shit'll mellow out. You can get one.
It's probably true.
Yeah. That's true. That's
you never know, though. You never know what's going to come out. I mean, seriously, they've had so many Tusken Raiders in The Mandalorian season 1 and season 2 now that I could definitely see someone coming out with one.
That's true. But the thing is, it's just for me, it's like, all right, so the dewback, like it was expensive before, but after The Mandalorian, like people, it's just skyrocketed, right? And like, I don't know, we'll never see a dewback again. And hopefully someone does make one in the future, and hopefully someone does make a Tusken Raider in the future, because man, really, I need those things in my collection.
Yeah, no, you're right. I would love to see, which will never happen because Sideshow is, I don't know. Anyway, I'd love to see a Tusken Raider mythos.
Dude,
something like that would be fantastic, but they just won't do it.
You're right. They're not gonna make that.
Like, you know what? Like, Sideshow needs to like up their game. Okay, they upped their game with the Moff Gideon, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But man, they really need to up their game and start making characters that we love and want to see.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
I mean, and Airmeister right here is saying, where did I get the covers? I was just going to let him know. I've got them off eBay. Those are eBay covers that I found. So,
yeah, I mean, this is a live stream, by the way, for the people listening to the podcast. And we can interact with some of these, with some of the listeners here. So Mark Pearson was like, so hard to find me, for me to find this thoughts to cast on Paradox Nerd. No, I separated it just because, separation of state and, all that stuff. Mark Pearson, I pulled out 3 3/4 Tuskens today. They major players all of a sudden. Yeah. Just real quick, the Black Series stuff went from $20 or maybe $15 to like $100 on eBay. Jeez. Crazy stuff. So besides this lightsaber collection book and some of those stuff, I also have the Child coming in on Thursday. And just one of those things, guys, like, I get it. Like, there are some criticisms with the paint job and, the whole Child itself. But one thing that irks me is that if you start comparing it to a $20 Walmart figure, I'm sorry, your criticism just doesn't hold up.
Yeah, no, it's not.
You're at this point, you're just trolling and you're just angry and toxic. Compare it to like a Hot Toys or other stuff, or maybe like say, if Regal Robot did something like this.
Yeah, look, cool. I think you just have to keep in mind, like, everyone needs to keep in mind that the cost of this thing, right?
Yeah,
just keep that in mind. Keep the cost in mind, because it really is, for the price, it is. Yeah. It's a good figure or a good statue for the price. Otherwise, if it were up to me, I would want more of a high-end collectible piece, like something that Regal Robot would make, but it's too expensive. It's too expensive for a lot of people.
But you know what, Matt? That's okay. Like, your comment right there, like your criticism of like the statue is good. Like, your thoughts on it, your opinion on it is great. But if you go, hey, PJ, like, the Walmart one looks so much better. I'm going to look at you and say, you must have so much hate. For this thing.
I will say this. I think the Hot Toys one looks more baby-ish. Almost looks like, but not that I'm saying it looks like the actual character. I'm just saying it does look and feel a little bit more like a baby, like have that cuteness to it. But I think the Sideshow one is just probably more accurate, and just it doesn't have the seams. Obviously, I think it did for the price. I think they did a pretty damn good job.
And I agree, and I agree with you. For the price, it's not going to be, like you said, like super accurate. It's not going to be like, oh my god, like exactly like the prop. But for a mass-produced statue, and it's probably crazy. I would love to know the edition size on this thing. It's probably like in the tens and 20,000s. But I think they did a good job. I think Thursday I'm going to get it, and I'll try to do my best to do some good lighting on it and do a good review on it, and hopefully help out some collectors who are still on the fence and picking up this thing. And that's what it's all about, right? You want to share your passion, your love to other collectors. You don't want to like just trash a collectible and have the collector who is on the fence miss out on something, and then they'll regret it later on. They're like, oh shoot, I listened to some a-hole that was like telling me that the Walmart one's better. Also, one more thing before we move on to our news, we have to talk about this. Vader Ramos has predicted this last Friday night on open mic. Vader Ramos, take it away, sir.
Yes, foreseen by the dark side it was. You see, there would be no IG-11. The only thing else I could have seen them coming out with maybe was Grief Karga, maybe. But
I really think they will make a Grief.
They might, but I'm Vader Dama is saving his next prediction for later on. But
well, tune in open mic Friday.
Yeah. Then Vader Dama is going to give his next prediction. But this was I didn't think it would happen the following Monday. But I like the base.
Yeah.
I don't like how he's kind of hunched a little bit. Like I think he should have been standing more straight up, like maybe 1 foot. The Captain Morgan pose, yeah. And I would have put the saber like down and kind of to his left. I mean, down to his side a little bit, but like pointing straight.
Okay.
As if he was like in the ready position, know. And I don't know, the likeness is just off for me.
See,
I don't.
I know what you're saying, Thor. But I just feel like this is like such a crappy picture. I have to like it really does.
No, I mean, we still have to see all the the up close and all the all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I'm not getting to it. Again, we already making contingency plans to improve this shit. So we're not worried about that.
Yeah. So I'll say this. I woke up this morning, I saw this picture, and the first second I saw it, am I echoing? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, good. So the first second I saw this guy, I was like, oh, it's a Black Series figure or something like that. And that was just the very first thing I thought. And then the more I looked at it, I was like, oh wait, this is a premium format. Like that's crazy. And so I need to see closer pictures to really kind of give an idea of what this really is. Like, is there texture on his pants? Is there texture in his clothing? Like, because to me, what's frustrating is I look at, because I actually like looking at collectibles in general. So I look at the things that they make for Batman and the things that they make for, X-Men and all this stuff. And I see people open these things and look at them and show all these details, and the level of detail they put into those statues is what I want to see them do to Star Wars stuff. I'm not seeing it quite yet. Yeah. Even Cara Dune, even Mando, I just don't see the level of quality that they can achieve, and it just kind of bothers me. You're right, Thor. The way he's standing, I got to see other pictures to see if that's actually. I
actually put a post up, and somebody actually put a post up of put the picture with. I said, well, look, he's standing straight up. He's not hunching like that. No,
yeah,
right. I mean, he was holding the saber like this, but there is a point where he turns around when he's looking around and he has like the saber down to his side.
Yeah. I remember that.
And I would have had him like, also I'd have had him like looking down into the side, maybe, because he's standing in front on a high position.
Yeah. Do they do switch outs on premium format?
Sometimes, but I doubt they'll do it on this one.
Yeah. Cause I hear what you're saying, Thor. That'd be great. Honestly, the only other thing I'll say is that, whoever poses the capes, I mentioned this, whoever poses the capes at Sideshow, like whoever does the capes needs to be fired immediately and never be able to work in the industry again, because it's really bad. I mean, look at this. This is an embarrassing way to have a cape just flared out like this. Like
I'm hoping that this part that's cut off over here to his left, all right. I'm hoping a piece of the wing is over there.
Okay. Yeah. That could be interesting.
That would be freaking cool.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the actual picture on his right, you can see the whole wing.
Yeah.
And so I hope they at least got like that this little mound of the cockpit is not it. I'm hoping we get like at least what the arm reaches out and sticks to the wing or something like that. That would be cool.
I'll say this: the base is cool looking.
The base is really nice.
It'll be interesting to see how the whole thing looks like, if they actually give us some, when they give us more pictures, what the whole thing looks like. But I hope they pose the cape differently so we can actually get a feeling of what this thing would look like.
Well, see, I don't worry about that because I can pose my own.
No,
cape.
For sure. I just think it would help the overall look.
Well, I agree.
You know what I mean? And that's what I don't understand about Sideshow is, why not help yourself out a little bit? Like, just help yourself out. Just do the best you can at posing the capes, anything soft good. Like, just help yourself out. Like they didn't do that with Obi-Wan Mythos either, and it turned a lot of people off.
I wonder if the chest really lights up too.
Yeah, I was gonna point that out, and like the black saber, like the dark saber.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, I it'd be cool if it lit up because it's such a unique look to it. Like if it does, and it's as detailed as it is, like real lights dark saber, that would be really, really cool, and it will be such a selling point for this statue, to be honest.
He looks like a pirate right now in this like he looks like his right eye is doing something weird, and
I think that's just a picture, because I was looking at that thing, I'm like, what the hell's is he like the Terminator? What's going on with that?
Yeah
it just doesn't look like him.
Cara
Dune looked way more like
right
than this looks like Juan Carlos.
But there's, you know what, there's something soft about these sculpts that I don't understand that's going on. Like Cara Dune had a little bit of that too, where it's just like something's a little bit, and you know what it reminds me? It reminds me of Gentle Giant statues. The Gentle Giant statues aren't bad. There's just, to me, they lack a little detail to really make them like amazing. And so that's kind of what this feels like. But we have to wait for more pictures to see.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things for me. I think I'm just happy that we're getting some of these characters.
Oh yeah, no question. Yeah,
you know, and
but if they don't sell, PJ, that's what sucks. If they don't sell,
I think it would sell.
I hope so. I hope you're right, because I'm not super into these quite yet, but I'm hoping other people pick them up because I want them to make more Star Wars stuff.
Well, and I agree with you in terms of the softness of some of the sculpts, because they used it for some of the older like premium formats, like the Jyn Erso,
right.
The Obi-Wan Kenobi, like those look great, but the thing is, like they use like a PVC portrait, which kind of like gives off that soft look. They need to like use like a resin and try to like sculpt it better, because if Prime 1 can achieve, or even Queen Studios could achieve that kind of like level of detail, I'm pretty sure Sideshow can. It's just that like, I guess they're at this point, they're like, okay, how much more is it going to cost us to make this thing, and how much more do we have to charge the collectors?
Right.
So one thing about Sideshow is that they're like the Honda Civics of statues. Like, okay, you can always rely on them, and they're pretty good in the most part, but they're no like an Audi or a BMW, like a Prime 1
or an XM
or an XM, and hopefully, again, that they're doing some improvements to stay up to date with some of these other statue companies that are putting out super awesome sculpts.
Yeah, man.
And again, like Queen Studios is setting the bar high for all these statue companies, because the likenesses, as you can see in the background here, is insane.
Well, that's why I hope someone like somebody like a Queen Studios, let's say.
Yeah.
I hope Queen Studios somehow does, like, someone picks up the Star Wars license and starts making some things to make them go, oh, well, now we can't just put out a bunch of shitty premium formats. We got to compete, right? Or if we do put out more premium formats, we gotta put them out to the level that people are gonna, want these. Just like they do with their Batman and some of their X-Men stuff. Like it's just
So Marcus S says, I'm surprised Obi-Wan premium format sold out. So again, it's just one of those things where Sideshow is kind of going like a little bit more mainstream with the collecting stuff, especially with like the child, right? They made it so inexpensive, and they're probably just making the first batch. They're probably making it at cost.
Yeah.
And I think they just want to hit the mainstream media as they did with the child, and those collectors that are picking some of these stuff and selling out these premium formats are just probably like one of those, random casual collectors that buys like statues once in a while.
But the Obi-Wan premium format was actually one of the better ones out of that line.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
Good. And having the hand and the base was cool. Like I thought that was actually a really nice statue. So, I think I'm just, I just want them to, I just want the quality to be there because
and that's one thing, one of the main reasons why I returned that statue, just because I just couldn't get over the fact that the portrait, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of like resin parts.
Yeah, sure.
And the only resin part that they could make, the only part that they can make out of resin is not resin, it's actually PVC and soft. Right. And again, like you mentioned before, Matt, it's like it's almost comparable to like a Gentle Giant or even a Kotobukiya. And for me, like I rather wait for a really good statue by Sideshow. I mean, they've done it before. Like look at the Darth Maul premium format that they released before. Thor had it. Like that portrait was made out of resin. So they can do it. It's just that they got to stop being lazy and stop considering Star Wars as second tier franchise. They are number one. They've always been number one. Maybe the only thing that could beat them out is Pokemon. That's just a whole different
and like look, the Mandalorian is an Obi-Wan series and all this stuff that's coming out. It's gonna be huge. Like just get your shit together and do it right. You know what I mean? And look, like the Mandalorian was sculpted by, was it, or either the idea was by or sculpted by the Kucheric brothers, right? Like it's not like they're getting, the mythos, a lot of those mythos pieces are amazing and they're Kucheric brothers. Like they can do it. Right. Look at Ventress, look at the Maul. They can do it. So just do it. Like just stop the level high, like
absolutely stop. Like give the same love that you give for X-Men to Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's all the Star Wars fans want.
Right.
It's just consistency, and I feel like sometimes they don't achieve that. All right, so that's all the pickups. Congrats to Thor, Vader Damas. I'm calling Vader Ramus. Vader Damas.
You heard it, right? I'm Vader Damas.
Yeah, Vader Damas. Good prediction on the Moff Gideon. Can't wait to hear your other prediction on Friday night open mic. And Matt, congrats on your pickups as well. Can't wait to see some of your unboxings on Rogue 16 channel. All right, so let's move on to news, guys. So this is actually a surprise news to me. Like Star Wars alum Felicity Jones on what she'd like to see if her Rogue One character returns. So I guess she's probably like talking about like the Cassian Andor show and how she could reprise her role in that, because I mean she's dead in Rogue One, unless she got beamed up by like some sort of like, I don't know, tractor beam or something. Right. I don't know. It goes, and here I'm reading out her quote from I guess like her thoughts on reprising her role. I think it would be fascinating to see her getting older and wiser and fighting the dark forces in the universe, of which there are many, it seems. I just keep saying that reincarnation is totally possible in the Star Wars universe. So, wait, never mind. So she really is talking about me.
I'm about to say, I was like, what is this chick talking about?
Oh boy, here we go. I think she smoked some pot before.
Yeah. What is she talking about? I mean, no one's ever really dead, but they were pretty dead. Like in Star Wars, the Maul, Palpatine, you never actually saw them die completely. But like Jin and freaking Diego, they're gone.
Yeah, she goes, I just keep saying that reincarnation is totally possible in the Star Wars universe, which she's not totally wrong. I mean, again, Maul, Emperor. So I feel there's unfinished business for Jin for sure. I mean, she does make a decent point, I guess, but it's far-reaching.
I don't know about that.
Oh man!
I mean, you that hard up for acting job, honey. I mean, come on, this you gone.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, before you even got to that part, I was like, well, how would that possibly for her to be in the Cassian Andor show, because that was the first time they met. So I'm like, that don't. I mean, unless they're gonna show her, well, it couldn't be her because they can show her growing up with Saul Guerrero. So I don't know what she's talking about. That's some.
I don't know. I think she's.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
thought. Matt, what's your thoughts on that?
Well,
I
look,
know you're a Rogue One fan. Like, would that ruin it for you if she came back as?
I mean, it would be strange. I don't know how they would do it. But that said, like, I think, look, the Rogue One show, it's not like they're going to go back, so far that Diego Luna is like de-aged to this young child or something, right? Like it's going to be somewhat close, at least a little bit, to Rogue One. So it's not out of this world that they couldn't show her with Saul Guerrera at some point during that time, right? You never know. They could. I just don't know if that's the idea of that show, right? To kind of, I don't know. I don't really see it. I definitely don't see her surviving a nuclear bomb.
Unless she's from fucking Krypton, then
like, and not to mention, it's probably more like 3 million nuclear bombs. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, the freaking Death Star destroyed the planet.
Yeah.
So if it didn't destroy her, they got sucked into the freaking space, and I mean, they died. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Clean energy destruction. No fallout, no Chernobyl, none of that shit.
Yeah, unless Ezra all of a sudden popped out and pulled him out in World Between Worlds, like just right before it happened, but he didn't do that. I mean,
why would he though? Like,
he doesn't know who it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, that was sorry guys. That was crazy. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So the High Republic stuff is in full force. So we got we got teased some villains here.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so I think these are supposedly some marauders. Wait, so
are they gonna turn this into I
was like, this a comic book, a show? What the hell is this shit?
Yeah,
what are they gonna make?
Yeah, I think they're making this into like, like comic books and books, and then where everything's kind of like connected. It's like you almost have to read the book to read the comic books. But
but eventually, you think they'll make something out of this eventually?
I don't know. I guess they're testing the waters to see if it catches, like, if it gets popularity.
It's a lot of world building, a lot of world creation type stuff. So if they did, they'd have a lot to work with. But it's just really interesting. I don't know.
Yeah. So there's this thing called the Drengir. It's a sentient plant life who are looking to reap a terrible harvest across. Okay, really? It wants to reap a terrible harvest on your crops.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So the Jedis have to prevent it from destroying some of your.
Yeah, it's like an angry houseplant.
Here's Martian Row. This looks cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
These are like some of the marauders.
Yeah.
This looks like a Zabrak.
Very steampunk.
Yeah.
Very steampunk.
So I don't know, Thor. What's your thoughts on this? Is this something that interests or piques your interest?
I mean, I'd read a comic book. I don't think I'd read a novel. I got to see pictures. You know how it is.
Yeah.
So I'd read a comic book.
How about you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be maybe some comics. I think this stuff is like could actually be really cool if they made it an animated show first, like something like that could be really cool because of the look of it. That might be interesting, and then eventually, I mean, they've done so much. Like it feels like already they've done so much world building and just connecting of things that like you'd think it would be worth it to actually do something. I mean, the Old Republic is a very interesting place to go with seeing some of that Star Wars stuff, right? So I think it'd be cool, but will they do it? I don't know. That's a good question.
For me, I don't know. We shall see. I mean, like you said, like to see it in a cartoon form or animated show would be really cool. Be drawn in pretty quickly, but to do it like to comic books and books, and that you kind of have that you could connect it by reading all of them. I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's a big commitment,
Yeah, sure.
To get into, and who knows? It might not even be popular.
Yeah.
If it's not popular, they might cancel it. I don't know, but we shall see. I mean, I'll wait to see people's thoughts on it, like reviewers or readers out there, and I'll wait for that. And
Old Republic, give us the Old Republic.
I know, give us the damn Old Republic already. All right, so here is the one that we were kind of mentioning earlier. So Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 3 is rumored to be in development, but don't get too excited. Rumors suggest that another game in the Star Wars Force Unleashed series could be in development. Insider Dan, who is known for his Disney-based prediction, told his Patreon backers that a third entry in the series was potentially on the cards, which I think EA just was looking for a programmer this week. So maybe these rumors are true.
Okay.
He goes, no official word from Disney or EA, but it's it's a rumor.
Isn't this like more like extended universe?
Yeah.
Stuff? I mean, I don't see Disney allowing that.
Yeah, and that's why I was kind of skeptical about it. If anything, it would. I
love the Force Unleashed.
Yeah, I love it too.
I love it, but
yeah, I just feel like maybe it would be a Fallen Order 2 that they're working on.
Sure, yeah, sure.
But that's just me.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Thor, what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, I watched this video early, and the guy was like, if they did make this, it would be like some kind of Elseworld thing, like alternate timeline, I guess, to what Disney's laying down. And he said, I guess it could be like a world within worlds, that the monolith type of shit.
Yeah. Are they gonna do that though?
I know. I don't know. I mean, DC is doing that stuff like with Joker and all that other kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I wouldn't give a damn because I want to play. I always wanted part 3 to it to find out what the hell happened. But
yeah, no, for sure.
Ultimately, I don't think it's gonna happen because it's the corporate shit gonna come in and
right.
I wouldn't get my hopes up, but I'd love to see it. But I don't think it's realistically. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Last piece of news before we move on to our breakdown of the recent episode of The Mandalorian. So this is, by the way, spoiler alert for the people that haven't watched The Mandalorian. Please look away. Or please stop listening and then come right back after you watch that episode. So this just happened. New Lucasfilm Boba Fett filing for a trademark.
They didn't have this trademarked already?
What kind of shit is that?
I'm not sure what it means by this. The trademark has been updated a handful of times since it was first applied in the late 1970s. Every time the trademark is updated, of course, is tied in with the creation of a new merchandise tied to the character in question.
Yeah, so they're
a big push for Boba Fett will finally be coming soon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know what this means, and Tyler.
Yeah, they're just updating the patent or the trademark so that it includes the Mandalorian in it, so that they can probably make sure that everyone's. It's a whole licensing thing as well. Like, just make sure that everyone's making Boba Fett stuff from the Mandalorian. They're getting their thing from their stuff,
getting paid through that instead of like from the old trilogy. Is that what you're saying, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's probably it could just be simply that, like, even if you had Boba Fett anyway, it's Boba Fett's a Disney character. So, but they probably, I'm guessing with all their characters, they would have to do this, right? They want to keep them up to date with what new things that they're in and all that kind of stuff. And especially connected to the Mandalorian, all that stuff, right? It's probably something like that. I can't imagine you could have made Mandalorian Boba Fett and not paid Disney for it, right? If it wasn't, I mean, that doesn't make any sense, right? So,
so that means we're getting so much more Boba Fett. Is that?
Yeah, no, I think we already knew we were going to get that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it just makes sense. It could be just that they're in the process of putting out to toy companies and everybody what Boba Fett is going to look like from now on, right? With all the new armor, with all the chips and all the, how he looks now, and they probably wanted to update that in the patent or in the trademark. So, maybe that's a part of it or something. I don't know. Or maybe in the trademark they want to be able to say Boba Fett from the Mandalorian, right, or something like that. And so I don't know. But either way, I think we were going to get Boba Fett from this anyway. Like I don't see how people don't make that.
Yeah. How about you, Thor?
Hot Toys are going to make it. It's Boba Fett.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they already have like how like pictures of how he looks like.
They're going to make it.
Yeah. Thor, real quick, what's your thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm not sure how this business side of this stuff works, but I mean, I'm guessing they just getting their ducks in a row and making sure that nobody else is capitalizing off their stuff and they just updating everything. I mean, I guess so.
Yeah,
that's about all I can say.
I hear you. All right, so
that could be it. That could be it. That they're just trying to close loopholes that people might exploit.
That's all.
Oh, I'm making this Mandalorian person from the this Boba Fett from the Mandalorian. I didn't know I couldn't make that, right?
Yeah,
but you can't. And they're just making sure they can't. So
yeah. All right, so I'm going to address some of these questions real quick. By the way, shout out to everyone that's listening or watching. I think with the High Republic, they're going to try and make a trilogy out of it, doing what they should have done with the sequels, lay the groundwork, have plenty of lore to go off, test stuff out, etc. James C says also they'll see what the hardcore fans like and then implement the best stuff into the film trilogy. Really good points there, James. Do you think in the future Disney will explore the ideas of the Wills? Nah, not right now. I think they're just kind of like maybe, I don't know. It's really hard for a lot of casual fans to swallow. Something like The Mandalorian, I think, is doable. Arrow Meister, wait, Boba lives. Well, too late, Arrow. Spoiler alert. By the way, I know you watched it.
The Wills is tough. The Wills is tough. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But we shall see.
That's like if they bring
they wanted. That was pretty cool. I thought with Yoda.
Mm-hmm. With what?
The end of Clone Wars. They on like the last 2 episodes, the very last 2. Well, before the 7th season, or 6th season, the Wills were on there. Yoda went to go see the Wills. And it was 2 episodes, and then
I think
they showed him his dark side. So it was cool. I thought it was.
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought it's cool. Again, it's something like if they put it in I guess layman's terms where it's not so complicated. Maybe.
Yeah, for that it was cool. Like a animation and then few episodes done. Like I don't think they drag it out. But
too much. Yeah. All right. So real quick, also I wanted to show you this video that Arrow Maestro posted on the Facebook group. By the way, if you guys haven't joined the Scum and Villain Outpost Facebook group, please do so. It's a nice little Facebook group where we kind of talk pretty much everything Star Wars. So this is pretty cool because this episode was directed by Jon Favreau.
Yeah,
and this is like a little nod to Iron Man because Jon Favreau also directed Iron Man. Shocker, and it's pretty cool. And they have a little similarities with when they were shooting when Boba and Iron Man were shooting their missiles at their targets.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, so let us move on to our final and only topic of the night, and that is the breakdown of Season 2, Episode 1, The Marshal. Man. So, great episode. We'll start off with Matt. What's your thoughts are on this episode?
Yeah, no, I really liked it. I thought it was I've seen it a couple times. The more I kind of watch it, the more I like it. And it's really just fun. I've also seen people I like watching people react to watching it just because I like seeing people's reactions to things, different moments. And so the more I watch it, the more I like it. I will say this. I really want them to start getting away from, I'm going to this new place. I want this thing. Oh, I have to help you to get this thing. And then I'm going to go to the next place. Right. I want to move away from that and actually get into some more, I don't know, some more meat of what's going on. And some people really like the whole episodic feel of it where it's very much its own thing every episode almost. I
Yeah.
don't really like shows that do that. I want it to be an overarching big thing that you're getting stuff from everything, right? That's what I want. And so I hope it goes more into that. Honestly, the first season was a lot of that. Yeah. And I still really liked it. So if it stays the same, I'll still enjoy it. But that said, I really liked the Tusken Raiders, like that whole thing. The Crate Dragon was fantastic. Nod to the video game and all that stuff. And I thought it was really well done. The Crate Dragon, I don't know if the Crate Dragon was, I'd love to know if it was done in a was there a puppet used for parts of it, or was it all CGI, or was it no. Well, just because the only reason I say that is because they tend to lean towards that kind of stuff, right? They want to make some of this stuff just like they did for Star Wars. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was shots in there that was a puppet. But either way, it looked fantastic. Like that whole thing looked really, really good. And I loved Cobb Vanth. Was it Cobb Vanth?
Cobb Vanth. Yeah, Cobb Vanth. Timothy Oliphant's character.
Yeah, I liked his character. He's great. He's it was cool to have him in it. And the whole Boba thing was super interesting. Did the Jawas actually save Boba Fett from the Sarlacc pit? Did he like somehow get out and was like that was the only way he was able to live, was trading his armor to them, kind of a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a great point, actually. Like if he gave his armor, which I'm pretty sure the Jawas knew it was pretty expensive.
Sure.
If he did that, like, would he get like food, water, clothing, be able to live, or get dropped off at the nearest town? I don't know. That's a great point, Matt.
Yeah. So I don't know how. Well, it'll be interesting if we find that out, or if we know anything about that. We might not. But that was cool, and the payoff at the end obviously is fantastic. The last shot is great. So I'm just happy to see Temuera Morrison actually back in this thing. The cool part about him being the way they have him set up in this, Star Wars universe, is that he could be on the casting list and you wouldn't know what he was. He could be Boba Fett. He can play Rex. He can play, all these different clones.
Clones. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he could be anything. So him being leaked that he was in the show is not necessarily, you just don't necessarily know what he is. But I'm guessing obviously that's Boba, but I'm still crossing my fingers that Rex shows up, but who knows?
Yeah, I think he will.
We'll see.
We'll see. Thor. I'm sorry, Matt. You're
yeah. No, I'm good.
Yeah. Thor. What's your thoughts on this episode, man?
So I've seen this thing 3 times. Once by myself, once with my mother, once with my wife. and the funny part was, with my wife and with my mother, they both said the same thing was over. They think this is like Netflix, and they're like, "Oh, where the next episode at?" I said, "That's it."
Yeah.
One episode a week. Fuck. The intro was perfection to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like, what a way to like say that we're back. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
That smooth walk he has. Whoever, I don't know if that's him in the suit or whatever. Whoever they got that walk down to perfection. And he walks up to the club and goes in, and the guy looks at the baby. Like, you bring this baby in here, and the scuffle and
that's John Leguizamo.
That's what I heard. I was like,
that's John.
I had to listen every time I listened to it. I was like, that will sound like John Leguizamo.
Yeah.
Well, just real quick, I want to mention, like, before he got into the club and with the Twi'lek bouncer, again, another ugly male Twi'lek. What the hell is going on with those male Twi'leks?
Genetics, man.
Those lucky bastards, because they got like the hottest like alien species, female alien species in the universe. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, and I loved how, because I hit up, because Rodney, he's doing the thing where he's letting a few episodes go by and watch. I see, man, your boy Mando doing some Punisher stuff, because that when he hung your boy up and let whatever those creatures in the dark get him, I said, man, that's definitely something the Punisher would do. You know what I mean? Because he told us, I'm not gonna die by my hand. And then what we're starting to see now is that Mando he's not such of a loner anymore. Like when he goes to Tatooine, he's happy to see the lady, at the landing bay and everything. And she's, here's baby Yoda, and she's playing with the baby. And, of course, he's over the droid thing.
He doesn't hate the robots anymore. The
crest and everything. And then it just became a straight Western movie. I mean, like straight Western movie. He rides out and, he runs. You forget he ran into some sand people before he got to the town. Because they showed a quick flash that he's asking him, I guess, where the town is. Then he shows up in the town, and he runs into what's the marshal's name again? I forgot his name.
Copman.
Yeah, he runs. He goes into a bar just like a Western. Where's he's right there, and then they come in, and the guy takes his helmet off, and then it was on after that, and they about to have a duel right there, in the So that was cool and everything. But as far as the crate dragon thing goes and the sand people, I love when people who are in opposition have to merge together to get something, a common
enemy
have to do that. And so now I think going forward, I think them and the sand people are going to be cool. You know what I mean? So they might actually be helping each other, or you never know. So I thought it was spectacular. The actual battle was just what whenever you watch stuff like that, when it's some large creature, something you think is impossible to kill, it's always harder than you even drew it up, and it never goes as planned. You know what I mean? So I love that aspect of it. And again, I wasn't expecting to see Boba, in this episode. And so that was a big surprise for me. And I mean, I knew at some point, and then it's a few people out there we got to say I told you so, because we told you that was Boba's armor. You know who you are. Anyhow. So
no, you're right. Thor, the only thing I would say that you actually reminded me of is, first of all, the intro was fantastic. Secondly, the whole rolling into town. So that's another thing that I personally have a bit of an issue with, is that they've pushed this thing so Western that sometimes I feel like it doesn't feel Star Wars anymore to me. Like it's so, like, the music is so Western, the feel is so Western, that it's like, guys, like I totally get it. I get that this whole like Kurosawa, like I get the whole Western vibe that Lucas kind of built this off of. I understand that, but it still needs to feel like Star Wars. It still needs to have that sense of you're in a galaxy far, far away, right? A long time ago, far, far away. So like, I just sometimes with the music combined with what's happening, I'm like, that's a little bit too much for me. But over time, I'm usually okay with it. Like I felt the same way when the first season Mandalorian, when he jumps on the blurg for the first time, and it's like the music starts, dun, 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 like he's going all stuff, and you're just like, dude, come on, man. Like we don't need this kind of music in this thing. Like it doesn't feel right, but I got used to it. So maybe it'll be the same thing.
Yeah. For me, it's just one of those things where I think we did a watch party that night, and I even said it that night. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to sleep.
Right.
So I think I edited like a video real quick, and then by the time it was like almost like
you were up late.
Yeah, and I was just like, let me close my eyes, right? And I couldn't like sleep like that night, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to stay up and watch it.
F it.
I said, F it. It's worth losing sleep over, right? So I try to log in around like 3:15 in the morning. And unfortunately, I guess there's so many people trying to like watch the show around that time, which is crazy, that it was giving me an error to log in to watch a show. I think I even shared that with you on the chat, guys. Like, and after a while, I finally was able to get in. I think it was around like 3:20, 3:25.
Yeah.
And start watching it. And just like, the beginning scenes were basically some of the things that we saw in the trailer. He's walking in that, the streets and there's a lot of graffiti around and stuff like that. I'm not sure
Compton.
Compton. That was straight up Compton.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, basically
Baltimore. I was like,
that's where
damn.
Yeah.
He was going to pick up a Mythos Vader from a guy.
So I thought it was cool, and you get to see some of those creatures that were like hiding in the dark, and then we come across, like they go into this club, and there's the ugly male Twi'lek bouncer, and I'm like, damn, another ugly Twi'lek, and it reminded me of, like, I guess, Return of the Jedi when Bib Fortuna was in the beginning, and where he was talking to Luke. Was it Luke? It was Luke, right? So it reminded me of that, and he gets in, and we meet Gor Koresh, the Cyclops-looking dude, which I thought like was looked pretty cool. Like, I'm not sure, was that like a mixture of CGI and like practical effects? I'm not sure. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question.
That actually looked like somebody wearing a mask.
Yeah, it looked like like very.
Yeah, it was cool because he had like the Donald Trump hair, right?
Yeah,
like brushed to the side. He was like kind of like a little heavier set, and I'm like, what is going on here?
And in that scene, the only thing that threw me off in that scene was the Gamorrean guards with the tiny legs.
Oh yeah, like they skip leg day, right?
Some thick ass legs on these guys. Like these guys aren't legs. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and we remember, like, in Return of the Jedi, like those Gamorrean guards had like those thick legs and like those hips that were like just like jiggling around as they moved around. But they had like skinny legs. It was weird because when they were like fighting each other, like they had like those, I guess, those battle axes. It made that little like clanging, like vibration or sound effects, which is pretty cool. Different than the ones that I would think of, like when we saw the Regal Robot Gamorrean fighter concept maquette. I thought they were going to look more like that and not like that skinny leg Gamorreans. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that was John Leguizamo.
Damn, so
I think he did a pretty good job, and it shows that Mando is like, he's like no joke now. Like, he's ready to kill. Like, he like threw the vibroblade at that Zabrak like straight to the heart, and I'm like, okay, so this is not for kids. Like,
yeah,
I like that.
I like that too. And it also shows like they were punching Mando's helmet, and it showed like they were getting hurt by it. So it's just like one of those in a football game when football players start punching each other in the helmet. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, right.
So they were doing that to Mando. And that was like a nice beginning. Obviously he finds out there is a Mandalorian in Tatooine, and he goes to Tatooine to search it out. And it was really cool to see what's her name, Peli Motos, and some of the pit droids there.
Yeah,
and you can see, like, Matt, you mentioned it, like Mando is has a newfound love for the droids now. He's not as like doesn't have that much hatred towards them. I guess because of losing IG-11 at the end of season 1 made him like appreciate them more. But one thing I wanted to point out is that, like, we get to see that same R5 unit that we saw in New Hope, right? He's got the busted motivator, and then the motivator, like, you see the oil coming out of it.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. And the one thing, when Peli was talking about some of the towns in Tatooine. So I played Star Wars Galaxies. I know I referenced that game so much because when I start first hearing some of these towns in Tatooine, and like you see, like for me, I could start seeing the map of Tatooine was because of that game. Like they had like a straight up map of how Tatooine looked like, where Mos Espa is, where Mos Eisley is, what's the capital of Tatooine. And it's crazy. Like they were able to kind of like bring that knowledge into the show. And also most Espa, is where Anakin's from. So it's pretty cool that they reference that. And then, as Mando like drives down the Dune Sea and all that great stuff, you get to see some of the Bantas.
Yep.
You see the Banta skeletons and stuff like that. And obviously they come across Mos Pelga, where is it Mos Pelga? Right.
Yeah, I think so.
And then come across like Cobb Vanth. It was, again, like Thor makes a great point. Like it felt like a Western when Mando walks in through the bar and and then they were going, like he sees Cobb Vanth, and they were kind of like, hey, that's my Mandalorian. I mean, yeah, the Mandalorian was like, yo, that's you don't deserve to rock that Mandalorian armor. Where the hell did you get that? I need that back. And it just like meant so much, like how much those Mandalorian armors meant so much to the Mandalorians. So, but to see the Boba Fett armor, like guys, like come on now, like didn't that give you goosebumps? Like I didn't expect.
It's all chipped to hell and just freaking, it's. I mean, it spent some time in the Sarlacc pit, so like it's probably that stomach acid would just kind of at his armor.
Yeah. And it's seriously really cool to see it again. And again, like I know I talked about like Boba Fett being like on in the season, but to see it so early in the show is like pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it was really cool. And they kind of go at it, and then obviously, before they drew their guns, there was some earthquake, and it felt like Tremors, the movie Tremors.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so because then you see this thing like coming at them in like underneath the sand, you're like, what the hell's going on here? Is this Tremors? I hope this is not Tremors. Right?
Well, I also was kind of I didn't understand why, like, what kind of foundation are these buildings on that this thing can like actually go through the street and the buildings are just like not affected by this massive animal, the massive dragon, going underneath them. Like, I don't get it, man. That was, I thought everything was just gonna kind of like sink.
Yeah, and whoever built that set, Matt, and I know.
Yeah, it's cool.
A little bit of something about this, but like like the set looks pretty cool, right? Is that real set or is that like the?
Well, that's the problem, right? It's hard to tell anymore. I think the void is such a special thing that they have now that they could build some of that stuff. I most likely that was a set because there was quite a bit to it, but they're still using the void a lot. So like the thing is they can also have a set, film the set, and then put it in the void.
Yeah.
And then put people in front of the void, right? So they could also do that. So there's all kinds of stuff they can do. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts.
It looks so good. And just to see like, some of those buildings. Again, I played Star Wars Galaxies and I had a house in Tatooine and I had a house that looked like some of those houses. So it was pretty cool. Again, like but when the thing was coming through, the first thing that came to mind is like, no way, that's not a krayt dragon, because that's the only other huge animal in Tatooine.
Right.
I'm like, oh my gosh, they're bringing the krayt dragon into the show. Like that's insane. Because the only times I've seen a krayt dragon is like in Star Wars Galaxies, or in like in a book or in a comic book. But man, to actually get it on the big screen is insane. So anyway, like fast forwarding, I'm going to skip some parts here. Obviously, Mando, comes across like some of the Tusken Raiders, and and Cobb Vanth was kind of explaining when they were going to, I guess, like kill the krayt dragon.
Yeah, his whole backstory.
And how he got the Mandalorian armor. Now, Matt and Thor, like, what's your thoughts on that backstory and how he got the Mandalorian armor? Which is kind of explaining maybe like, is that like a cool backstory? You guys think like does that work well?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. I thought it was cool the way that he got picked up by the Jawas, and then yes, I thought it was cool. I thought it's cool to see some extra things they have. Right, they had the CZ3 droid head in Jawa's hands.
Yeah, because you're getting that right now.
I am. It wasn't that specific one. Is funny. That specific one wasn't Tom's CZ3 head. It should have been. I think it's one from. It's called Zorg. Zorg guy on RPF makes it, and it's actually pretty cheap. But it doesn't look like CZ3. So it's just a weird version of CZ3. But they used it because you could hardly tell what it was when they were holding it. But yeah, like it's cool that they had that in there. It's cool that they had some other like things. It's just it's a whole another location that they can add all this really cool stuff that it's just all this, it's great. I thought it was great, and the backstory worked. I thought.
Yeah, Thor, you thought the backstory worked for the armor because when you think of Sarlacc, that thing like Sarlacc ate Boba and its armor, so you didn't think like how the hell did it got out of there,
Yeah, the only thing I thought was a little suspect was why when he grabbed that, I guess that canister or whatever.
The Camtono.
Like, why would he grab that? Wouldn't you grab something to survive out in the desert or something? And he had no idea what was in there, so he just took something, But other than that, I thought it was cool. And I think that as far as the armor goes, I don't think Boba traded with the Jawas per se. I think he had to get out of that armor to escape, probably. That's yes. And then they said, you hear later on, they said the crate dragon ate the Sarlacc to get into it. So as crazy as it sounds, I'm sure they're not going to get into it. It could have been like a Jurassic Park situation with this crate that they found this armor and it shit it out all, and then they just found the armor, what I mean? And being out there in the sun, you ever been seen in the sun, it just turns into ash.
Yeah.
Just found this armor, what I mean? I think that's
that's a great point. And that's Mandalorian armor, so it could withstand the acids of both the Sarlacc and
I hate to put it that way, but I think that's what happened. I don't see Boba trading with no. Even though he'd have been in dire straits, because in Legends, Dengar nursed him back to health.
Okay.
Yeah, I really wish that you don't use that word nurse because I think of teats and all that. But anyway, I that's a great point, Thor. Which I was actually going to make that point. Since the crate ate the Sarlacc, maybe that's way thing came out.
Think about that. Think of how large fucking Sarlacc is.
Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, I'm sure you come at the Sarlacc in a. From the side, it ain't gonna do nothing.
Oh yeah, because it's nested in the ground.
Yeah.
But it just shows you the mass, like how big the crate dragon is. And whenever I played that game, it was one of those where we had rounded like almost like 100 players to take down this one crate dragon. It would be like a huge event. But anyway, going back, real quick, just moving along, seeing the Boba Fett's armor and to see Cobb Vanth use it where he used the rangefinder. We never seen, and you never seen Boba or even Jango use the rangefinder, right? To see it using that kind of sort of way is pretty cool. So I didn't know it was he uses it and then he launches the missile. I thought he uses it to shoot his carbine. So it's pretty cool to see that. And
look, there's a lot of really interesting once they actually met up with the freaking with
the Tusken Raiders,
once they met up with the Tusken Raiders and he's petting the dogs and hanging out with those things and they're sitting around a fire and they're doing their whole passing around the freaking
the shrooms. I don't know what
juice or whatever the hell they're drinking. That was interesting. They did a lot of cool stuff.
Well, and also they humanize the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, they do.
So it was one of those things where we always thought them as brutal savages.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with the name Tusken Raider. Right. And they're the ones that killed. I
tell you what,
Anakin's mom. So
someone who was telling me. Oh, I think Chris was saying this to me earlier. Mentioning that did you notice that none of the freaking human beings got killed? Really, it was only the Tusken Raiders that got killed. Like,
it's like no human beings were killed in this.
and
and there's like 100.
Yeah, Chris is like, it was probably a Disney thing, right? They don't want you to see like human beings dying, but they're like fine with Tusken Raiders dying. Like they're the ones that got freaking acid on them.
Yeah.
And like, they're the ones that got freaking swallowed by the freaking crate dragon. So I mean, I'm telling you, man, they got screwed. They got the short end of the stick.
The bantha, the short end of the gaffy stick.
Yes.
but it was cool because you know, the banthas got killed. Which, by the way, dude, how much do you want a bantha right now?
Yeah, it's really cool.
How much it's crazy. I want a bantha and a freaking Tusken Raider so bad, and a dewback. God.
I'm gonna tell you one thing I'm starting to see that's starting to bother me about Mando though.
Oh,
he uses his flamethrower for everything but burning people.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he burned that
he burned that one stormtrooper, and I guess he burned Clancy Brown's character who couldn't be burned. So
you know what's tough though, Thor, about that is that like when in Mando, when he burned that stormtrooper and you could hear the crackling and stuff, like I kind of looked over at my kids and I was like,
yeah,
I don't know. like not only is he dead, but he's like burnt to death. Like, that's a bad way to go. So I think they just can't do that very often.
I mean, I figured that, but I was just like, I'm like, okay, if you can't, then just don't have it. You know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Just don't do it.
I hear you.
I mean, he threatened both of like the guys, Cobb Vance and Tusken with that man.
That stormtrooper crackling like that was like, oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
Bad. It's so brutal.
Like, oh, that's like some third-degree burns. But anyway, yeah. So obviously, like they kind of gather up the troops, the Tuskens and Cobb Vance and Boba realize that like, shoot, like we can't take this down by ourselves. We need to get more people. So they got the townspeople to join in. And it's cool to see like them work together, and they had like that little bow and arrow thing, the crossbow. It kind of reminded me of freaking Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, they're just to shoot him, and then they had to try to like get him to come out more, and
and
it's
cool again to see the crate dragon. I'm telling you guys, I was like fanboy Mando-gasming, throughout.
And someone mentioned this to me that I didn't really think about, like doing CGI, like computer graphics on a monster during the daytime is actually really hard. That's why you a lot of times you see monsters in shadows and at night and all this stuff. They can kind of work around you seeing the whole thing, right?
Yeah,
and having to make it all look real. But this is straight daytime. Like this is like 1 p.m. in the afternoon. It's hot. This great dragon coming out. And you're seeing everything. It's pretty amazing. It looked really good.
Yeah, it did. And it was really cool because it just showed you how strong this thing is. And again, it brought me back to, I always reference it to Star Wars Galaxies, where seriously, like if you were playing with me, there's going to be like 100 people trying to take down this thing. And we're all like, and it's so accurate because the crate scales are so impenetrable that even if you shoot it, it doesn't do anything to the crate dragon. You have to shoot it in the bottom, and that's how we used to kill the crate dragon in Star Wars Galaxy. So it's really cool that they implemented that fact.
It's smart. It's smart that they're using stuff that fans know of, that even if you don't know of it, it's still fantastic, right?
Yeah,
even if you don't know this thing, like I didn't play that game, but I still really enjoyed this series, this show. But I also knew that it meant something to people, right? So like, it's just cool. It's cool that they're doing that.
But and that's one thing that I'm going to reference the MCU real quick, and that was the thing where it kind of brought fans from like the casual fans and the hardcore fans together.
Yeah.
Or just all fans in general in all walks of life, to share like that knowledge, or someone getting to know that fact. And it's just a great thing. It brings fans together, and we could talk about it in like in a podcast or a show like this. Yeah. And again, Matt, if you and Thor and I played that game, seriously, like we would have so much fun, because it really based a lot of their that game really based a lot of things off facts and the Star Wars lore.
Right.
And real quick, so they had to kill the belly of the beast, no pun intended. Yeah. And obviously the way they kill it is Mando kind of taking over and being such a badass. Like that, by the way, that tuning fork gun is super strong because he was swallowed by with the banta with the bombs. Yeah. And he got out of that thing by shocking it with the freaking tuning fork rifle. Like, first of all, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a little OP or it's a little bit too much?
No one. I mean, it's not like he killed him with a tuning fork gun. He just stunned. It made him want to open his mouth, right? Get it so he could get out of there. Yeah, I get that. I thought that was a really cool part of it. And then once he blows him up, it's like meat. There's a meat for everybody. Like there's a little crate meat for plenty to go around, and they've got enough for years and years. And they finally get the pearl, which is really cool.
Yeah, and just one of those things where when the whole thing when the crate dragon exploded, like it was like, oh my gosh, like this is how badass Mando is, and now he's getting used to the jetpack.
Yeah.
Because Mando and Cobb Vanth were able to fly it to like the top of the mountain and stuff like that. And obviously another cool thing to see is the crate pearl. So when the reason why we rated against the crate dragon in the game was to get the crate pearl, and I had a Jedi, which I was trying to get that crate pearl because if you use if you get that crate pearl, you could use that to put it in your lightsaber, and depending on the color of the pearl is the color of your saber, and it just makes the saber even stronger. And fun fact is that it basically the crate dragon eats a lot of things and a lot of rocks, and there could be some rocks with kyber crystals in them, and it crystallizes and makes it into a pearl. So that's why it's such a sought out thing whenever you kill it, alongside with the crate scales, which you could use for armor and stuff like that. Again, really cool that they're really implementing that stuff. I wonder if that crate pearl is going to make it back into like later episodes. But again, guys, sorry, long-winded little review of mine, but I love it. I think it's a 10 out of 10. I know there's a lot of things where Matt, you made some good points about the story moving forward, but I think this whole scenario is to build up Boba Fett. I really think because you want to know, like, how did the armor survive and who had the armor, and then they show him at the end, which was a really nice thing.
It'll be interesting though to see how much he actually is in this for real. Like is he gonna be a big part of this, or is it really just he's in the first couple episodes and then he's bouncing? You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be interesting to see how that works.
I want to see how he convinces Mando that that's his armor and that he should give it back to him or whatever.
You'd think he would have heard of Boba Fett.
Most likely. He's gonna have to prove to him that he is Boba Fett.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm quite sure that
I'm sure he's got an ID somewhere, right?
Where's Slave One at?
Yeah, I heard Slave One is still in Jabba's palace.
Oh, okay.
From what I heard.
I mean, he had to park it somewhere.
Yeah, and everything, like they took the freaking, what's that called, the sail barge out to the freaking middle of the freaking.
Yeah, who took over Jabba's palace?
Yeah, see, dude, we need to see that in the next episode. Sarlacc, the Sarlacc ate it
by the crate dragon. It took over the palace.
Again, and it's weird to see like how Boba's like scarred up. He's got no hair.
Yeah, for sure. Anywhere. He doesn't have hair anywhere, guys.
Yeah, anywhere. He's got like none of his in his eyebrows. So,
and again, chilling in some digestive acid and see where your hair goes.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's true. No doubt. But again, I would love to see like them explain how Boba Fett lives, because like we got to see it with Maul, right, in the Clone Wars, and how he lived.
Yeah, it'll just be interesting to see how far they go with that. Because again, the thing that I think is hard for people that aren't super aren't hardcore fans of Star Wars is once you start introducing other Mandalorians, it might get confusing. I mean, Sabine's supposed to show up at some point as well. So I don't know if they care about that or not. Maybe they don't. Maybe that's just something that they're going to kind of go through and it's no big deal. But it's interesting to see how what happens with him.
Well, hopefully, well, I think it's still like, I've seen so many, like I'm telling you, like the people that at least expect liking this show are loving it. Like I know this couple, a good friend of ours, like they don't watch Star Wars. They're like big Marvel fans. And to
Yeah,
see them go, oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
X-Men fans.
Exactly. And they're like, oh my gosh, we need to buy this Baby Yoda animatronic and we need to watch The Mandalorian. Oh my gosh. Like, it's so cool to see, like, and again, like, I'm pretty sure they have it down where they could kind of like put it in like layman's terms and kind of explain to the people.
With this comment right here from Air Maestro, I actually would have preferred to see Cad Bane than Boba Fett personally. I think that would have been a cooler like thing, right? That Cad Bane was the one that actually showed up and helped that one lady or whatever, right?
Who knows? It might be still be him.
It still could be, but I don't know.
Well, I think Boba's going to tie into the whole Mandalorian angle, is what it is. That's just a prediction. That's a notion. Vader Damas.
Oh, here we go.
But not the one. But I think he's going to be a part of.
Yeah.
The whole.
It could be interesting, guys. Like, what if all of a sudden you find out that they're employing like all kinds of crazy people to try to get the Mandalorian, right? Like, what if Boba Fett's all of a sudden Boba Fett's on the roster to try to hunt him down? Cad Bane, like they've actually gone after some of these like heavy hitters to get this guy. That could be interesting. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's,
or that could be a way of Boba like getting back into the bounty hunting thing.
Sure.
He's like, oh, hey, Mando, you're my friend. I'd like to get my armor back. And he gets it back and he goes, and then there's like someone walking down the street. Hey, that's the Mandalorian with the child. He's worth like $2 million or 2 million credits. And Boba's like, wait, what?
Exactly.
But
maybe maybe Boba in his armor has a whole inbox full of messages from Moff Gideon. and Cobb Vanth just didn't know how to answer him. And so now he puts on his armor and he's like, oh shit, I got a bunch of messages from Moff Gideon. Oh, he wants this guy that I got this armor from. I better go get him. You never know.
Like, oh my gosh, 2 million messages? Let me go with the newest one. Go get the Mandalorian. This is how he looks like. Oh man, that's crazy. Again, guys, what a great start to the season. I really can't wait for episode 2. And I have a feeling, because they really mentioned it before the show even started, that everything's going to be like one fluid motion. And I think they addressed the issue where, there was like separate stories with each episode. Yeah. But I think everything's going to connect with the season. So we shall see. Cool. But guys, that wraps it up. Thank you, Thor and Matt. This was like a fun episode. Podcast episode, and I'm really happy that Star Wars is back, man. Star Wars is still is back at number 1. Marvel kind of took a little nosedive to being number 3 best IP right now. That's kidding. But you know what? I can't wait for Thursday or Friday to show up, and we get to watch episode 2 and see some other characters making their way to the show. And cool. And again, this is my Damas prediction. Luke Skywalker is going. Paradamus is Luke Skywalker is going to show up at the end of the that was crazy. Oh man, and Vader Damas's prediction is still Baby Yoda with the lightsaber, which I will freaking be on the effing. I should
Vader Damas prediction.
Yeah, I'm gonna start recording all the episodes, and then to try to catch a reaction, because I will be on the floor naked if
mine is that Boba Fett has a bunch of Moff Gideon emails that he's gonna.
That's the Madamus prediction.
Oh my gosh. Oh geez, Louise. Oh goodness. All right. On that note, hey guys, thanks for listening, and to the viewers out there, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Again, for those of you guys who are new to the podcast and channel, please check out Scum and Villainy Facebook group. It's our official Sithcast Facebook group. Also, please check out Vader Damas every Friday night, making predictions on premium format Star Wars statues. So DCX Open Mic, please check them out. That's where Vader Dominus will be to make.
Yeah, some of the X-Men people said, "Well, Vader Dominus, what's the next X-Men statue?" Sorry, man. It only work on Star Wars.
Oh man, and please check out Matt from Rogue One 6. Please check out their YouTube channel. They do a lot of unboxings, reviews, and discussions about Star Wars prop replicas, statues, hot toys, and so much more Star Wars stuff. Please check them out. I'll put all the links down in the description below. All right, guys. Really appreciate you guys watching and listening. And may the midichlorians be with you guys always and forever. Peace out. Love you guys.